There is a number. I had to check it 3 times before I could believe it. Within 5 months, one woman, singing, generated more money than the entire annual GDP of a sovereign nation. Not a metaphor, not just a figure of speech. This is a real number found in a real economic report. Taylor Swift didn't just go on tour. She operated an economic machine so massive that it appeared in official reports from the U.S. Federal Reserve, the most powerful central bank in the world, mentioned a single singer by name in its economic report. Do you find that crazy? Today, we are not just going to tell you shocking numbers, we are going to dissect it, precisely how that machine operates and why almost no one can replicate it. All right, first, let's talk about scale, because if you don't understand the scale, you won't understand why everything that follows is so crazy. The Eras Tour lasted from March 2023 to December 2024. 149 shows spanning across 5 continents. This is the first tour in music history to surpass the $1 billion revenue milestone. Not $1 billion for an entire career, $1 billion for just one tour. And do you know what makes this timing so special? It was right after the pandemic. People had just spent 2 years locked indoors, savings piled up, the craving to go out, to touch a real experience piled up. And then, right at that moment, a perfect storm appeared. Swift stepped onto the stage. Right person, right time, right thirst of an entire generation. Now, let me show you what the numbers actually look like when they hit the ground in specific cities. Denver, Colorado, just 2 shows, only 2 nights, contributed $140 million to a state's GDP. Los Angeles, 6 shows, $320 million in economic impact, 3,300 jobs created. Where do you think those jobs came from? Hotels, restaurants, security, drivers, sidewalk merchandise vendors?
A single concert temporarily hired an entire city. Chicago, where hotel occupancy rates reached a record level, 96.8%. Just over that final weekend alone, the hotel industry raked in $39 million. And the bus and train systems? 43,000 additional rides, the highest since 2019. This is no longer just a concert. This is an urban infrastructure shock. So what mechanism is behind all these numbers? In economics, there is a concept called the multiplier effect. Sounds academic, but actually, it's surprisingly simple. For every $100 you spend on a live ticket, it typically triggers another $300 in spending. Hotels, food, transportation, concert outfits. A single dollar doesn't stay still. It flows from a fan's wallet to a taxi driver's hand to a hotel receptionist's desk to a street food vendor. And in smaller cities, this effect is even stronger. Why? Because their local economy is inherently small. The same influx of cash creates a much larger percentage change. That's why Cincinnati, not a giant city by any means, still recorded $48 million in impact. 20 million of that came from people who do not live in the city. They flew in just to see one show. But the story doesn't stop at the US border. Let's fly over to Tokyo. 4 shows in Japan, estimated to bring in $228 million to the country's economy. Singapore, 6 shows. And this is the detail that made me stop and think. Singapore was the only stop in Southeast Asia for the entire tour. Only. What does that mean? Fans from Thailand, from the Philippines, from Indonesia, from Vietnam, all pouring into one country to fight for one ticket. This is another economic concept called demand shock, a massive amount of demand pent up and then exploding at one point at one time. And because Singapore is a relatively small economy, this shock is not diluted. It shows up directly in national economic data. Clear,
Measurable, undeniable. Now, let's return to the initial question. Why did one person generate more money than the GDP of Barbados? More than the GDP of Aruba and Belize combined? 4 times the GDP of the British Virgin Islands.
The answer lies in a third concept, the experience economy. The average fan doesn't just buy a ticket, they spend an extra $1,300 for each time they go. Custom sparkly outfits, friendship bracelets to trade with strangers, cross-country flights just to stand in a stadium for 3 hours. Why? Because they are not buying music, they are buying a memory. Something to talk about 20 years from now. People post-pandemic have learned a painful lesson that there are things money cannot buy a second time. A moment that has passed is gone forever. And Taylor Swift, whether intentionally or not, sold the exact thing an entire generation was craving. Not a product, an emotion. But, and this is the part I want you to listen to most carefully, because most articles stop right here at the shocking numbers. But a decent economics channel cannot stop there. Nomura Investment Bank did a different calculation. They asked, so how big is the actual impact on the entire U.S. economy? Not Denver, not Los Angeles, but the whole United States. And the answer surprised many people. Just 0.02% contribution to real GDP growth, 0.03% to retail sales growth. Does that sound small?
Extremely small. And this is the most beautiful paradox of this entire story. At the level of a city, Taylor Swift is an economic earthquake. At the level of a small state or a small nation, she can shift macroeconomic numbers. But at the level of the United States, the largest economy on the planet, she is just a ripple. Not because the impact isn't real, but because the ocean is too vast. And this is the most important economic lesson in this video. Whether a number is shocking or not doesn't just depend on how big it is. It depends on what ocean you're comparing it against. So why is this model almost impossible to replicate? 3 reasons. 1, a massive fan base and so loyal they're willing to fly halfway across the world. 2, the ability to generate the fear of missing out on a global scale, making fans in Vietnam willing to fly to Singapore just to not miss a single show. 3, the right timing, the right thirst of an entire generation right after a pandemic. These 3 factors rarely converge at the same time. That is why Swiftonomics became a case study, not a formula that can be copied. So, the question I want to leave you with, not about Taylor Swift, but about yourself. The last time you spent money, not for a product, but for a memory, when was it? We have just walked through 3 economic concepts: the multiplier effect, demand shock, and the experience economy. These 3 concepts don't just explain Taylor Swift, they explain many things happening around you every day. Because on this channel, everything has a reason. If this video made you look at a concert in a different way, hit subscribe, because in the next episode, we are going to talk about a toy priced at $5, resold for $500. And that is a completely different economic story.